G'day, guys. Welcome. It's been a bit of a break, hasn't it? Middle-aged man with cap on backwards isn't necessarily a good sign. Freshly shaven, nice and refreshed. I've got the League Tees white tee on, Blue Bloods, Harry and Charlie. This is an absolute beauty. This is one of the best fitting t-shirts that I own, and check out their catalogue. Check out League Tees website, and you won't be disappointed. They've been a great supporter of this channel since it started, and I really appreciate what they do. But their stuff is quality, and if you enjoy things that are just a little bit left of centre, quirky, retro, you will not be disappointed. So League Tees, check them out. Maybe it's a bit of celebration. I'm feeling very relaxed, and it's Thursday, and we're playing Saturday, but I feel like so calm. No nerves. Maybe it's the fact that you can't, like, I know a lot of Carlton supporters will be able to go to this game, and I wish I could just jump on a plane and go across and watch, but yeah, just can't. But a lot of people will be just sitting and watching this game on their couches. And I know it's a national competition, and I don't want to be greedy, but I know there was this real build-up of excitement last year when we were playing at the G, and it was just like fever pitch, and so there's that. But I think if I'm really honest, guys, really honest, I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling an upset. I'm not feeling like any confidence with this scenario, with this group, regardless of the players coming back in. I'm just not feeling it. And the longer the build-up, I feel like our fans are becoming, and you can think any way you want. And I always say this, you can be positive, you can be negative, you can be cynical, you can have the blinkers on, you can be a happy clapper. There's no prizes, there's no special ribbons and badges for the best supporters. There's just not. Okay, now this is my thoughts, all right? You will have your own, okay? But I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling this team. I'm really not. And the longer the build-up has gone on, the club has done a terrific job. The media departments do a terrific job. I'm sure they will sit down and perfectly map out how they want to sell this. Let's have an open training session for the Victorian Melbourne fans on Saturday. We'll get them along. We haven't had one for the whole year. We'll get them along. We'll have some autograph. Like, they're very good at building the week, selling it to us. That's what you got to do. You got to immerse the fans, and that's just the way it's changed. Social media and big memberships and all that, and we've got a big supporter base. But I'll be honest. Like, we're about a 1% chance of winning this game. That's 1%. This will be the last preview. This will be the last preview I do for the year, which is unfortunate. And I'm I think my anger came up. It was a while back. Like, I got all my anger out, I think, a while back. So I'm not feeling it, regardless of who's coming back, and regardless of the stuff that the club and the players that are speaking throughout the week. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not. And something just so extraordinary will need to happen for us to win this game, and I'm fully expecting us to go across there. Really, the expectation is we put up a fight, but we're just not going to be good enough. It's as simple as that. We're not going to be good enough. I don't think our game's in good enough shape, regardless of what people are saying about the Brisbane Lions. The fact that it's on their home deck just helps. It helps. And people are saying the Lions aren't as good as what they were last year, and they're not travelling along as good as people are saying, and all that type of stuff. And I can understand all that. But our game's not in good enough shape to go across there and win this cutthroat elimination final, other than the fact that you dare to dream, okay? And anything can happen. I think that's really what it's going to come down to. And we're just going to have to play some football that we probably even haven't seen from this group for a long time. And also play that football for a bigger period of time than just a half or 2.5 quarters. It's pretty going to have to be sustained for 4 quarters against a team that is still that is strong and seasoned and have been around the block so many times and went agonisingly close in last year's grand final. When you think about it, they've done a particularly good job to get in the position that they got into when they suffered some shocking injuries at the start of the year. They're a fucking good outfit. And yeah, I don't think we're that good at the moment, and a lot of work to do in a lot of areas of the game. And I'll repeat, the club have done a good job at selling it. They have done a good job, and I'm actually calling him now. And I love Michael Voss, I really do. I don't even know if he's that good of a coach, but I just like him. He's just something about Vossi that I really like. But this story time, I'm calling him story time Michael Voss. Oh God, like every snippet we get over the last couple of weeks is Michael Voss in a car, being interviewed as he's driving along or talking to the players about creating a story, stories of hardship, stories of transformation and persistence through failure, persistence through success. And we're getting snippets of this stuff, and then they're drawing us in and they're trying to brainwash us. And I'm not buying it. I'm just going to judge this club not on stories. I'm going to judge this club on the way they perform once they cross the white line. That's all I'm going to do. And I feel like our game's in not great shape, regardless of what they're trying to sell us. But they're doing a good job of it, and a really good job of it. And they're getting the faithful to think that we are a realistic chance of winning this game, which I don't think we are. Okay. Enough of story time, Vossi. What I do want you to do, though, quickly, is this is the way I'm seeing it. If you've got the blinkers on and you're feeling it and you're thinking, oh, this is a 50-50 contest, or like we'll win this game. Like if you're thinking that, okay, I'll ask you this. So work with me here, hypothetically. This is the pill. Not that pill. This is a different pill. This is a life-saving pill, guys. Okay, this is the My Blue Heaven life-saving pill. This has come across my desk. This is revolutionary. Okay, you're on your deathbed. Okay, which is a little bit morbid. You're going to take your last breath. The only way you're going to survive is through this pill. Okay, one pill will cure you instantly. Okay, imagine that. Imagine having a pill that would just cure you instantly. All right, and that's what this is. But the only way you can get this pill, you need to pick the winner out of Carlton and Brisbane. If you can pick the winner out of Carlton and Brisbane, you get this pill. So for your life, there would be not one person who would be brave enough if their life was on the line to pick Carlton. Not one, okay? Yeah, and this is such a big ask, and I just don't think this group is capable of doing it. And it's a pretty tough thing to say about your football club, that you don't believe they're capable of doing it. You don't think they've got... I think they want it, but I just don't think they're there. I really don't. I just don't think they're there. It's a tough thing to say, as I say. Like, we're $3.66 sports bet. That's a long shot. They're $1.29, so they're red hot favourites. And maybe that at the very least might play into our hands, that the expectation somewhat has gone away from this group, and we seem to play better when the shackles are off and we're not tied down by expectations. I hate that, really. I hate that, the fact that we shit the bed when it really means something. And I'd love for Storytime Vossi. To put that in his story. Guys, yeah, we shit the bed, guys. Eh? We shit the bed when the expectations are on us. That's our story. No, that's never put into the story. Anyway, maybe the fact that we will play with a bit more of a free spirit, the expectations are gone, we're massive underdogs, that might play in our hands, but I think that's the only thing. I looked at our finals record on the road, guys. How many do you reckon we've played on the road since 1990 when the VFL crossed from into the AFL, which was 1990? The year Collingwood won the grand final in 1990. We didn't play finals in 1990 or 91 or 92. We got back into the finals. We had a bit of a lean patch there after 1987. We were sort of a shit football team. Then 1993, we started to get our mojo back and... we made a grand final, got beaten by SM. But how many interstate finals do you think we've played in since 1990? And I remember all of these. I did the research this afternoon. I'll give you a little bit of time to think. 8. We've played 8 interstate finals since 1990. How many do you think we've won? Yep, we haven't won any. So it's zipping 8 on the road. That's classic us, though. It's classic Carlton, isn't it? Like classic Carlton. Sort of shit your bed. I think there's only there's only 2 Victorian clubs that I feel like don't let that be a burden on them, the fact that they have to travel. It's Collingwood. Hate to say it, but Collingwood and the Western Bulldogs. Those 2 teams seem to thrive. They thrive on that to get on the road in a final and win. They just, but we've never won a final. And not that we've played a lot since 1990, but 1996, we got smacked by the West Coast Eagles in a qualifying final at Subiaco by 55 points. Then when it went across to the Gabba in the semi-final and got beaten by 97 points. 1999, we got beaten by Brisbane by 73 points in a qualifying final. 2-10, Sydney by 5 points in an elimination final. That was really close. I think that was the game that Trent Dennis-Lane kicked 4 goals. Remember that? 2-11, we remember that. We beat Essendon in an elimination final at the MCG, then went across to the West and got beaten in unfortunate circumstances by 3 points against the West Coast Eagles in a semi-final, which ended our season. 2-13, beat the Tigers at the MCG in that classic elimination final that got done by Sydney at Olympic Stadium by 24 points. And last year, we led by 5 goals in a prelim final against the Brisbane at the Gabba and shit the bed. So we will be creating history somewhat if we can win this one. We are up against it. So I understand we've got so many players and really coming back into this team, and they'll be important. Of course they'll be important, but it's sort of like, who's going to go out? Like those young guys that came in created so much energy and enthusiasm. And you can't see many of those surviving, really, if they're going to bring in half a dozen players. So I'm not going to talk about the ins, really, because the teams will be out sometime tonight, and I'm not going to wait for that. I'm just not going to wait for it. So these are the 12, even though I'm fully expecting a loss, guys, these are the 12, I've written down 12 things that I would sort of like to see or I would like to happen. So the first thing I would like to see, regardless of the changes that have been made, who comes in and who goes out, I would like to see Brodie Kemp keep his spot. But I want him playing as a forward in this game. I'm fascinated to see if both, and there's rumours that Charlie mightn't play, but if both play, I would love Kemp to be the third tall in that front half as the hybrid forward. I'm fascinated to see if that, and it's hard to see it working in an elimination final, a cutthroat elimination final, but I would love to see him persist with that, okay? Particularly if both Charlie and Harry play, that they play Brodie Kemp, assuming he doesn't get dropped, as a forward. Because I feel that Lockie Cowan can somewhat play Brodie Kemp's role in the back line as that hybrid tall. And I feel like defensively, Lockie Cowan's a better player than Brodie Kemp. I don't think Brodie Kemp's a defender. He's either a forward at this stage or he's out of the team. But I want to see that. I want to see it this week in a final. Charlie, Harry, Kemp. I reckon it'd be okay. I'd be fascinated with it. In fact, it could be dangerous. That means I'd love to see Lewis Young keep his spot. I think he's been solid in the last 2 games and when he came back in. I think the partnership of him and Wiedering and McCubbin coming back into this team, I'm not saying it's perfect, but I feel it would be competent against Hipwood, Danaher, and Logan Morris. Does McGovern go to a Logan Morris? Morris is not a bad footballer. As a first-year player, he's a goal kicker and quite dangerous. But I feel like that would be solid-wise. It means that Lewis Young plays that really defensive lockdown role, allowing McGovern and Wiedering to play more intercept. So I'd love Lewis Young to keep his spot. I'd love nothing more in this game, and this is probably a little bit wishful thinking, but why shouldn't it happen, really? Why shouldn't it happen? If this team aren't full of shit in what they're saying to us, and that they're excited and they're pumped and all that type of stuff, their energy after a week off should be good. These players have been on the sidelines, should be fresh. I'd love to see another blistering start, and I mean a blistering start like we did in that prelim final last year. But I want to see it, if it does happen, maybe I'm delusional, and I've just spoken about the fact that I think that we won't win this game, but why not fucking maintain it? So get off to that blistering start, really put this mob on the back foot, and then not be just flimsy and give up a goal late in the quarter and take the foot off the pedal, but really maintain it. That's the only chance in this game. I don't feel if we don't get off to a good start, this isn't going to be opening round where the Lions, were probably a little bit underdone and they got off to a flyer and then they let us back into it. That's not happening this time around. So a blistering start and a really strong start is the only way we're going to have any hope in this game, but it will need to be maintained. I don't think Doherty, I'm hearing Doherty as a sub, and it's great to see him back. It's great to see him back. Go back and have a look, watch a video that I made a while back now that he was the biggest loss in regards to all the guys that have been injured throughout the year. Just his class and his level-headedness, his ability to play multiple roles. He needs to start on the ground. Excellent play, great leadership. Not as a sub. Let's be bold and brave with this and put him straight on. Seriously, like, why would you play him as the sub potentially when the game is gone? Given the opportunity, he'd be champing at the bit to get out there. I'd be gobsmacked if Sam Doherty plays as a sub. I don't want to see Alex Chincotta if he does play anywhere near the midfield. I want the midfield to go head to head. If it means Hewitt goes to Neil, I want Chincotta to either be a defensive forward or play as a pure defender and take a Cameron or take a Rayner. I don't feel like we need him. They've got so many threats in the midfield. I just feel like this game, we need to really have our best midfielders in there and not be too concerned about tagging through the midfield. And Chincotta will be best. I think his best position will be to play on a Cameron because he's got the speed and he's got the power to go with him. I'm talking about Charlie Cameron, that is. So there's another thing. Number 6. This is something a little bit interesting. They've got a lot of really good midfielders. Obviously, Neil, McCluggage through there. But I'd love to see us actually target physically. I don't know if we've even got this in us. And I don't mean anything stupid, but I want us to get on the fucking front foot and target Josh Dunkley. Because we know he's going to do it to Patrick Cripps or Sam Walsh. We know he's going to be so fucking physical because that's him. I want us to go after him. I want us to get into his head. I don't even know if it will work, but I just don't want us to see us meek around the ball. I really don't, and go into our shell because they either target Walsh or they target Cripps. I want to see the likes of Hewitt and Kennedy and even fucking Elijah Hollins get in there and throw their weight around and be really physical, really fucking physical. Number 7, I want to see us have a plan for not just Zorko, but Wilmot, Connor McKenna, who killed us in that prelim final last year. Zorko's a gun. I mean, it's pretty hard to stop a bloke who just knows how to win the football and so smart. But him going back to half back has just really changed the way this team move the ball. But I want to see if we've got a plan for it, what we're going to do to try and negate those three. And it's not just necessarily, let's just put a lot of work into Zorko, but also, what is the plan for the other two? Because I don't feel like we get the same amount of drive and creativity from our running halfbacks than what the Lions will get from that trio. So what are we going to do about it? What are we fucking going to do about it? Let's have a look. I want to see Lockie Cowan, mentioned him before. Love to see him play. Love to see him start. I want him to play on Kyle Oman. I want him to take him. Kyle Oman's a good player. He's got something about him. He's got a bit of X factor. He can mark. He's creative. Good goal assist player. Can hit the scoreboard. I think it'd be a perfect matchup. If it's not Logan Morris, I think Kyle Oman. I mean, Loman's third-year player. Cowan is a second-year player. I think he's been good defensively, and it's a good job for him. I think he's a bit of a barometer for them in their front half. Kyle Oman, and I'd love to see him take him out of the game. It's been a bugbear all year, but fucking opposition scores from clearances and stoppages it's been a shit show for the whole year. So we'll be watching this very closely. Who's not switched on? Who's not set up right? Are our midfielders actually working hard enough? Are they physically capable? And our defensive structure in the second half of the year has been a fucking shambles, really. So that will be a close watch to see what that looks like in this game, because we know the Lions are a really good team scoring from that source. So what have we learnt over the last couple of weeks? What have we got to put in place, okay, to fix that part of the game, which has just been fucking dreadful. No Fogarty, no Owies, so it's a fucking big game. I don't even know if they're going to... I don't even know if both Corey Durden and Jesse Motlop will play. I'm pretty certain Orazio Fantasia will play. That's Vossi's love child. Big game for those three smalls. It's a huge game. And chuck Zach Williams in there as well. Chuck him in there as well. It's a huge game for those four. Not only to hit the scoreboard, but the pressure. So we're talking about the likes of Zorko, we're talking about Wilmot, we're talking about Connor McKenna. So where are these? Where are these guys going to be? Okay, our small forwards. Okay, who I think when they're down and their pressure is down, particularly guys like Jesse Motlop, we are toothless in regards to stopping opposition ball move from the back half. And I would actually genuinely like to see more time given to the likes of Corey Durden. Only small amounts of time. I know they come up to stoppages, but maybe centre square here or there, just to switch things up for a Jesse Motlop or a Corey Durden, just to change things. Number 11, this fascinates me. Harris Andrews v. Jacob Wiedering. I know, it's like, fuck, he was overlooked, Harris Andrews. A lot of people were so surprised that he didn't get his All-Australian berth and Jacob Wiedering got his first jacket. Who's going to be the most influential defender on the ground? I know they've got Jack Payne coming back in, who really helps Harris Andrews because he takes away that big body. He can actually play on a Harry, meaning Harris Andrews can become more proactive as an intercept defender, which he's so good at. But this is huge when you really think about it, okay? Jacob Wiedering, highly rated, preferred over Harris Andrews. I can't wait to see these two really strong defenders go at it in this game. If we can put some work into Harris Andrews, I mean really put some work into him and stop his effectiveness, that would just be a small win for us. Probably a big win. Who that will be, I'm not quite sure, but that's a mouth-watering sort of comparison, a paradox between the impact of Harris Andrews compared to the impact of Jacob Wiedering, considering Jacob Wiedering took his All-Australian jacket. And the final thing I wanted to speak about, guys, in this, don't forget the pill, in this preview, is I'm fully expecting a loss. Okay, I'm going to be doing somersaults if we win this game. Probably in a nudity somersaults down our main street. Just about 16 somersaults in a nude. Imagine that. Middle-aged man, cap on backwards. We get the chocolates and a close win, and I'm just like going bananas with nude somersaults. I won't be doing that, but that's what I would feel like doing. However, post-match press conference, if we don't get the job done, this is number 12. Because we know what will happen if we get the job, what Voss will say. I want some honesty. I just want some honesty because I feel like we can handle it, man. Like we, as supporters, as fans, we can handle honesty after the game if we don't get the chocolates. So something along the lines of this, and I'm going to finish on this. This is if we don't win, we had huge aspirations going into 2024. Huge. Played a prelim final last year. So coming into the year, we had the world at our feet. And we blew it. We blew it. We all blew it. Coaches, players, the football club. The opportunities was there and we did not take it. We did not take it, okay? When the season was at its hottest for us to be a consistent football team, home and away football team, to get yourself into a really strong position to contend, we weren't good enough. We were not good enough. So the pressure now goes on us to improve because it can't happen again next year. Okay? So ram your stories and your journeys up your arseholes, okay? Because really, at the end of the day, okay, I'm the coach of this football club and my job is to get these players to perform, okay, through the season. We haven't been able to do that. That's what I would like to hear if we don't get the job done. Anyway, hopefully we do get the job done, but I can't see it happening. Tell me what you think. Who's your prediction based on life or death in the pill? Okay. How much are the Lions going to win by? Speak soon.